Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. The first episode of Monday Night Raw in the year 2020 actually did something interesting. It started a story at the beginning of the show that piqued my interest and made me want to see what happened at the end. But, as usual, we all ended up being disappointed, and Raw would prove once again to be nothing more than a waste of everybody's time. And we are here to talk about it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review for the first time this decade. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Well, I'm 50 years old. Bum, 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 bum. I'm in the main event of Monday Night Raw tonight. Yeah, it was the big... Oh, I'm sorry. I almost threw up in my mouth a little bit. Are you kidding me? You made me wait 3 hours for that mystery partner to the storyline that on Monday Night Raw that is actually interesting. It's featuring Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe going up against the Monday Night Messiah. Somebody in the WWE creative watches Netflix and has a Netflix subscription. I'll tell you that. The Monday Night Messiah is going to lead us to the promised land. You know, I spent my last weekend trying to detox from wrestling, and I did some binge watching on Netflix, and I watched the second season of Lost in Space, which was great, and I started to dabble in this show called The Messiah. Or just Messiah, I forget, but it's this Netflix show, and it's very compelling, and it's very interesting television. And it is what they are giving to Monday Night Rollins now. He's the Messiah. They're copying a Netflix TV show. That's what they're doing. There's nothing original about it. And to make it even worse, you got the Monday Night Messiah and the Apostles of Pain going up against Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe. And this mystery third partner, man, it had me in all kinds of directions. I'm thinking to myself, wow, this would have been a great spot to maybe debut a returning John Morrison. Maybe this would have been a great spot to bring back Sheamus in. Maybe this is where we're going to see Alistair Black tonight. Maybe Randy Orton's going to pop up here out of nowhere. The list of possibilities. I even started to think maybe they'll call up a Keith Lee from NXT. Maybe we'll see Buddy Murphy here. Who knows? Who knows? The possibilities were endless. And you came out and you brought back the Big Show, the same Big Show that didn't wrestle the entirety of 2019, and the world of wrestling was better for it. Why the Big Show? In the main event of the first episode of the year in Monday Night Raw, you think this year's going to be any better than last year? Take a look at what we got tonight. And that's just that one thing. There's so much that was actually wrong with the show. I was so looking forward to this. I thought they built it up great. I mean, even the Monday Night Messiah stuff with Seth Rollins, I'm like, well, you know what? I enjoy him much better this way than I enjoyed him being the babyface of cringe. And he was just absolutely horrible. And I was tired of seeing Becky Lynch's boyfriend roaming around. And this is at least better. You can't deny, right? Seth Rollins' persona is infinitely better than what we were getting just a couple of months ago. And even though it's a carbon copy of something else that's going on right now, I will accept that. And Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe, great! And you did the Big Show. The Big Show! The Big Show! The biggest poop hammer we've ever delivered on this show since its inception. Are you kidding me? And then you got Brock Lesnar finally deciding to return to work. At least he remembered to bring the championship belt. And then we had Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman! unprecedented announcement. It's a true first time ever. What about his announcement was unprecedented or first time ever? Think about it, you guys. My brain does not shut off. I do not forget things. WWE wants you and I to be forgetful idiots. Right? The only unprecedented thing about this whole scenario with Brock Lesnar entering the Royal Rumble at number 1 is the fact that Brock Lesnar is entering the Royal Rumble at number 1. That's never happened before. However, we have seen a WWE champion enter the Royal Rumble at number 1. His name was Roman Reigns. He started the Royal Rumble as WWE champion number 1. So what really makes this special? Just because Brock decided to fucking do it? That's what makes this historic? First time ever? Please. They're just trying to make you guys buy more into it by using all this hyperbole and all these stupid words. First time ever. Unprecedented. History-making Brock Lesnar. Why? Why? There's nothing really that special about it. Brock Lesnar, as the WWE Champion, entering the Royal Rumble, has a litany of problems to it. First of all, I do not like the champion being in the Royal Rumble. The whole purpose of being in the Royal Rumble is to get to a championship title match. Is this Brock Lesnar cleverly trying to win the Royal Rumble to take WrestleMania night off? Doesn't he get enough nights off as it is? Obviously, Brock Lesnar is not going to win the Royal Rumble. Okay, this whole thing is nothing more than a ploy to feed you guys and to get you to watch the Royal Rumble, and everybody's going to think Brock Lesnar's going to run through everybody and win the Royal Rumble. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But what I learned from this segment more than anything else is that what we fear the most is Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble in order to get his shot at the Fiend at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. And this happening with Brock Lesnar almost guarantees that to be the case. Because with Brock Lesnar entering number 1, my biggest hope, best case scenario here for us, guys, is that we get somebody like Matt Riddle or somebody that we would want to fight Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, come out in the number 2 spot, embarrass and eliminate Brock Lesnar, and then go on to actually have an actual Royal Rumble, instead of making it a Brock Lesnar showcase where we're going to have one guy after another come out and get eliminated, come out and get eliminated until that one guy comes out and stops him and eliminates Brock Lesnar. That's what we're going to get. They should just get it over with. Number 1 is Brock Lesnar. Number 2 is Matt Riddle. And then Matt Riddle comes out. He gets the best of Brock Lesnar before number 3 even enters the ring, shocking the world, shocking the beast, setting up the WrestleMania main event. Matt Riddle can either then go on to win the whole thing or be eliminated, and he is still on a collision course with Brock Lesnar. That's what's going to happen. Whoever eliminates Brock Lesnar in this Royal Rumble is going to be his opponent at WrestleMania, which leaves the winner to be open, which means it has to be a SmackDown guy. Daniel Bryan is already doing his thing with the Fiend at the Royal Rumble that night. The Miz, I doubt we are going to see winning the Royal Rumble to get to the WrestleMania main event against the Fiend. Who are they going to give it to? They're going to give it to Roman. That's what Vince wants. That's what's been so heavily rumored. So Roman will win and go to WrestleMania, and Brock will have his feud established during this ridiculous booking of the 2020 Royal Rumble. I don't like that. I don't like it. I think it's lazy, and I think it's bullshit. You could have very easily had Brock Lesnar not even be involved in the Royal Rumble at all. He could have sat there and watched ringside, for all I care. All of a sudden, he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. History making! Nothing history making about it, except for the mere fact that it is Brock Lesnar. He could have done this without being the heavyweight champion of the world, and it would have meant the exact same thing, because we've seen this happen with a champion before. So technically, they're lying to you. Just thought I would point that out. The rest of the show, outside of those two things, was very uneventful. SmackDown featured the return of some high-profile names. Tonight's Monday Night Raw featured absolutely nothing. Nothing outside of the return of the Big Club. And we'll get back to that in a second. We talked about Brock Lesnar and his stupid announcement, which opened up tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. They followed this up with Andrade, the United States Champion, taking on Rey Mysterio. And this was the best match of the night. They gave this match a ton of time. Was a little overbooked and a little bit wonky towards the end. I didn't really care for the end. It seemed as if there was a bit of confusion between the referee and the competitors. I liked what they were trying to do, as Rey Mysterio seemed to be a lot more concerned about the fact that he tackled Zelina Vega than Andrade did. He went to take advantage, and he ended up retaining his United States Championship in a very, very good match. But the finish just left a lot to be desired. It was very strange. It felt off, and it didn't do any justice to the rest of the match that they were putting on, which was actually very good, and it brought the whole thing kind of down. Following the match, Andrade would remove Rey Mysterio's mask, which is sending us in the direction of a mask versus career match or a mask versus hair match, which I'm seeing a lot of people talking about right now, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. The one thing that I think they're missing out on is they should be bringing the giant baby son, Dominic, along for the ride this whole way with Rey Mysterio. You started this whole thing, you gave the kid this moment against Brock Lesnar, and then you just kind of took him away. And I feel like if anything is going to happen with him in the future, you should have had him around this whole time. Not just having Rey talk about him, but continue to have him as Rey's sidekick, manager, cheerleader. I think it would have brought a lot more to the situation. It would have been a way for Rey to even out Zelina Vega's interference on the outside throughout this whole thing. And this should have actually have happened months ago, but I appreciate them doing it now. It seems as if they are going towards the end of Rey Mysterio's run here in the WWE. And although we've seen Andrade and Rey wrestle about 350 times already, I'd rather see that than a lot of the other stuff that they plan on doing. And while the Latino on Latino violence continues to be booked in the WWE because they really don't know how else to book a luchador, I'll take it. Because tonight, as you've seen, we got 30 minutes of solid action with two of the best talents in the world over the United States Championship. And that, you got to give credit where credit's due. But once that was over, the rest of the show quickly went downhill. We had the triple threat tag team matchup for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships, featuring 3 tag teams in the tag team division. In fact, maybe the only 3 tag teams in the tag team division. Who else even is there? So no matter what happens here, no matter win or lose, they're only going to go on to fight one of these other 2 teams in the future because there's nobody else for anybody to fight. And while maybe you thought New Year, New Champs was going to kind of happen, I didn't see the Viking, Raider, Warrior, Raiders dropping the titles tonight. I don't understand what they're doing with the tag team division. I don't mind that the champions defended their titles here in the triple threat match, but it's very predictable. You got the Street Profits in there in a championship opportunity. If they're not going to pull the trigger on them, that's the only reason why the OC's there, so that the Viking Raiders have somebody to pin and they don't have to change the championships. So the OC continues to be nothing more than the guys set to look up at the lights and take the pinfall. The Street Profits put on a decent showing. It wasn't the worst triple threat tag team match I've ever seen, but when you think about the state of the tag team division, what do you really care? What is there to really care about? Not really much. And we're just going to see the same shit next week. It's either going to be the Viking Raiders versus the OC, or the Viking Raiders versus the Street Profits, or the Street Profits versus the OC. Or maybe we'll get a new tag team. Who knows? Why not give Shelton Benjamin a tag team partner instead of using him as a jobber? This is the gold standard of the former WWE Intercontinental Champion, former WWE Tag Team Champion, being booked like a schmuck. He deserves to be booked a whole lot better than he was booked tonight. Give him a tag team partner. Put him in a tag team division. At this point, I don't care who it is. We need as many tag teams as possible. Give us tag teams. Give them names. Give them music. Give them matches where they win. But that's the right way to do it. So, of course, they're not going to do that. We had a promo from Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch came out. She has to erase that one defeat from her record. She has to repay that one debt to Asuka. Asuka came out looking fantastic as always, doing all her little gyrations and her movements. And she starts talking, and you kind of got a little bit of what she was saying, but not really. And all this led to was Asuka getting into the ring after a little back and forth between the two ladies. And then Becky Lynch doing her best imitation of Lacey Evans and delivering a woman's right hand to the face of Asuka. It's almost like the creative team forgot which show they were writing for and thought for a second that Becky Lynch was Lacey Evans. Because why didn't they have her wrap her up in the disarmer? Or, do something more Becky Lynch-like. Instead of just a right fist to the face, which is easily this other girl's gimmick. But that may just be me nitpicking. I just think they could be doing a whole lot more with this. I mean, instead of giving us the obligatory Charlotte Flair match that nobody needs to see, why not have Becky Lynch come out and start mopping the floor with some of these ladies? Defending her championship or not. Come out and say, I'm going to have a warm-up match. Asuka, this is you. Boom, boom, boom. Beat the shit out of some broad. And then Asuka could come out, try to take advantage, and then get laid out for her troubles. Get creative. This was boring to me. This back and forth and Becky Lynch on the microphone, to me, it's gotten old. She's the champ that does nothing as of this point. Do something. Make her look like a champion. Don't just dress her up like Kill Bill and then have her walking around with the title still saying she's the man, but there's this one thing that makes her feel like she's not the man. And she's going to erase that at the Royal Rumble. They could be doing better. Mojo Rawley could be doing better as well. Mojo Rawley bumps into Erick Rowan and his box. His little burlap sack box. Mojo wants to take a peek. He says, please, let me see what you got in your lunchbox. Erick Rowan, for some reason, decides, hey, Mojo Rawley's okay. He hasn't let nobody see what's in this thing. But he's finally going to give. He's going to cave. He's going to let Mojo look. Mojo Rawley looks into this thing and reacts as if he just received a copy of WWE 2K20. And freaks out and starts jumping around in the back and... What is that? What is that? I don't know what the hell he saw in there. Was it a giant turd? Was it Luke Harper's head? What was it? What would possibly be in there that would be that terrifying? Is there a lobster crawling around in there? Some sort of a giant spider, a tarantula? I don't know what would make a human man the size of Mojo Rawley back up like that. But wait! There's more! Don't get disappointed. Erick Rowan goes out to the ring. He is going to defeat this week's nobody. KJ something. KJ Orzo. Looked like he was about the size of a piece of rice. My chef friends will get that, or anybody that cooks with Orzo noodles, rice, whatever the freak it is. This conversation is more relevant than the matchup that we got to see. So what happens here is Erick Rowan takes Mr. Orzo and says, you want to see what's in my box? And the guy's like, okay, yeah, I want to see what's in this box. And he looks in the box. And he gets sprayed in the face with some red shit. I don't know. Is it after Erick Rowan wins this thing with a claw slam, he shoves his face into the side of the cage, comes up, his face is all covered in red. And I'm thinking, what does this? What the hell does he have in there? An airbrush that's set to go off if you peek? Is it one of those things like the bank has when you get the money in there and then it's fake money and you get the marked bills that poofs up to the... What the hell is it? Is it a skunk on her period? What are we watching? What spits red mist? Is it Kairi Sane in there? Who's in there? What is that? I'm telling you right now, there is no way that what's in that is going to pay off in the end. He's going to reveal that thing, or we are never going to see what's in there, because it's not going to live up to whatever expectations and they are setting the bar now even higher. What could possibly do that? There's not even an animal in the world that does something like that, is there? If you know of an animal that sprays you with red, hit me up and let me know what it is in real answers. Don't give me stupid answers like I just gave you. I can come up with stupid answers on my own, and nothing's gonna be better than a skunk on her period, right? You're not gonna beat that. So give me like real life answers. If you know. If you don't know and you want to have fun, sure, go ahead, have fun. The comment section is yours as always. AJ Styles gets to tangle with Akira Tozawa. Going into this matchup, I'm thinking this is going to be a sleeper. These are two of the most talented wrestlers in the entire world. Akira Tozawa has never been given a moment to shine outside of the Cruiserweight division, and even within the Cruiserweight division, he was kind of booked very terrible. And this could be an opportunity for the world to see what an Akira Tozawa brings to the ring. Sure, you didn't expect... I mean, you knew Akira Tozawa wasn't going to win, but you didn't expect it to be such a squash, did you? I mean, maybe you did, but I certainly didn't. I had a lot more respect for Tozawa's ability than the WWE creative department does, and considering the fact that you have not been given much focus on Tozawa and that AJ Styles has a prime program going on with Randy Orton, I thought this was going to showcase AJ Styles, show what he can do, let the world see what Tozawa can do, and then boom, Randy Orton with an RKO out of nowhere would end up making this match end in a no contest or a disqualification of some sort, and it would have been just fine. Why did AJ Styles have to beat Akira Tozawa in 2 minutes? Making him look like nothing. This is why nobody can be built, because from one week to the next, you'll see this guy in a great Cruiserweight Championship matchup, but then he'll show up on Raw and be beaten in under 2 minutes, and it doesn't make sense. And this is why we have no new stars, because this is what they continue to do. To everybody, no matter whether you're little like Tozawa or huge like a Drew McIntyre, who we'll get to in a minute. And the biggest sin of this has to be that they gave so much time to the worst segment in wrestling history, revolving around Bobby Lashley, the human milk dud, and Lana, the lady milk dud, that I don't understand why we can't have more wrestling in that scenario. Sure, we had some very good matches with some very long match times, but something like Tozawa versus Styles, that could be match of the night anywhere. But no, we got to make time for Lana and Lashley. For the first time since this storyline began, it actually started by making me laugh tremendously hard. Because the WWE doesn't even know what they're doing. The staff doesn't even know what's going on. And proof happened live tonight on Monday Night Raw in what was clearly the best moment of the night. Somebody jumps the barricade and rolls into the ring. Some old guy in a suit. Immediately, WWE officials are on him. Tackled this guy down, shoving him out of the ring. Pictures are popping up all over Twitter. People are talking all about it. Who is this guy? Oh, nice. Somebody just ran into the ring. It was the Reverend for the Lashley Lana segment. How out of touch with your staff do you have to be for them not to know the people that are actually going to be on the show? They thought this guy jumped the barricade because he was merely a fan. Why is a guy that's going to be involved in the next segment sitting out there in the crowd anyway? Shouldn't he be in the back waiting to come out? How do you not have your security guys aware of the fact, oh, the Reverend's going to be approaching the ring. Don't tackle this guy. You made him look like an idiot. What if you made him have a heart attack? He definitely looked disheveled for his repeat wedding segment, which none of us wanted or needed to see. This was a giant waste of everybody's time. They didn't even have the decency to have Liv Morgan come out and stop this whole thing and give us a little bit more explanation and play on the biggest talking point of what happened last week. But no, instead, we get Lana screaming at Rusev, who's clearly not on vacation. He's just standing in front of the world's largest green screen and most inexpensive green screen. I mean, shit, my piece of crap green screen that we barely use anymore makes me look like I'm more in the scene behind me than the WWE's high-tech HD stuff they were using tonight. This was terrible. This was straight out of the early 2000s. I felt like I was watching Carlito. Any minute now, Rusev was going to spit in the face of me for not being cool. Thankfully, that didn't happen, but Rusev is standing there, dressed up like Carlito, apparently put himself on his own honeymoon. Since Lashley and Lana didn't want to go on a honeymoon, he decided to take a honeymoon on his own. This is what we're listening to on Monday Night Raw. This is a real segment. This happened. So Lashley wants to start running down Rusev. Lana interrupts her new husband and starts screaming at Rusev. She hates us, doing the whole Lana thing. Just repeatedly screaming nonsense, repeating how she hates us, she hates the fans, blah, blah, blah. Lashley tells Lana to shut up, and then Lana actually shut up, and I was like, thank you, Lashley. It was the first time I appreciated anything Lashley has done on WWE television. I was very grateful for that. Then he goes on and cuts a promo on Rusev, and now they're going to end up fighting next week on Monday Night Raw, and I just want this all to come to an end. If Rusev is so happy that Mr. and Mrs. Milk Dud are now a thing, then why does he still continue to get involved in their affairs? Shouldn't he just be off on his little fake vacation in the room in the back, enjoying himself, cracking a few drinks, eating a few crackers, bringing in a few honeys? Like, enjoy yourself, but what do you still give a shit about what they're doing? Let them do whatever they're gonna do and call it a day. You beat the shit out of them on their wedding day. You came bursting out of a cake and you made a whole big to-do. Now let it be done. Why do you still care? Awful. Way too much time. Way too much time invested on this shit tonight again. To redo the whole wedding. Only this time nobody interrupted. Then there's long drawn out back and forth between Lashley and Rusev. Nothing from Liv Morgan, right? And then we come back from break after this segment thankfully came to an end. R-Truth is in the back and they want to talk to him about the, hey, look at me, I'm a clown, I don't give a shit, 24/7 avocado-colored gold-plated championship belt. And Liv Morgan wants to step into screen. She's like, oh. So Lana's going to be in Lashley's corner. I guess Rusev is going to need somebody in his corner, and that's going to be me. Great. Don't you think maybe that friggin' segment you just made me sit through might have had a little bit more oomph in it if maybe Liv was on vacation with Rusev? Or maybe Liv came out in between this back and forth and made this known during that segment instead of doing this unnecessariness with R-Truth? It just makes no sense, you guys. It really does. We say that all the time because it is the biggest thing, the biggest criticism of Monday Night Raw week to week is the show just makes no sense. So that's already a big negative every time we look into what is wrong with the show. At the end of the day, it doesn't make sense. Just like Charlotte Flair doesn't make sense versus Sarah Logan. We made a little bit of mention of this earlier before, but we got to bring the hammer down on the fact that the WWE just thinks we have no other desire than to watch Charlotte Flair in the ring on Monday nights. First of all, why would they book Charlotte Flair versus Sarah Logan? This is just a meaningless match for Charlotte Flair to get the win, you would think. Only they make it a lot weirder. They have Sarah Logan jump Charlotte Flair before the match. They make this match about the robe. Charlotte Flair's robe got disrespected by Sarah Logan. The action would never officially kick off. The ring bell would never sound. But these girls were all over each other. beating each other up all over on the outside, and I'm thinking to myself, what has prompted such hatred in Sarah Logan for Charlotte Flair when they were just a few weeks ago on the same Survivor Series team, representing Monday Night Raw? And now all of a sudden there's this such bitterness that Sarah Logan's coming at the Queen with such viciousness and ferocity that I'm not seeing in legitimate feuds that are actually happening. What is that all about? Is this just Sarah Logan's new thing? She's going to be the wild woman. She's not even going to allow matches to start. She's just going to start doing kind of like what Nikki Cross used to do before they made her Alexa Bliss's lapdog. This was a waste of time. This match didn't even happen. All it did was show Charlotte Flair gain a little bit of vengeance on Sarah Logan after Sarah Logan disrespected the robe. And Charlotte Flair walked off. Great. What a quality use of my time. What a great way to use your women's division. What a great way to feature a brand new talent like Sarah Logan on her new venture outside of the Riot Squad. Let's just show her like this and have her easily get wasted away by Charlotte Flair. For no reason. With nothing behind it at all. They announced more participants for the Royal Rumble. Some we already knew. They announced Brock Lesnar, who made his stupid announcement at the beginning of the show. Erick Rowan's going to be part of the Royal Rumble. I wonder if he's going to bring his box and leave it out there for 30 people to get sprayed in the face with. They announced AJ Styles. Roman Reigns, of course, was the first person to declare. Randy Orton's going to be in it. Rey Mysterio is going to be in it. Ricochet was going to be in it. Drew McIntyre would come out, defeat No Way Jose and all of his conga morons in under 2 minutes, and would announce that he himself was going to be in the Royal Rumble as well. So here you see the MO of the WWE. We got guys coming out, squash match, and then declaring for the Royal Rumble. And my thing with Drew McIntyre, the guy looked fucking great tonight. He had a ton of charisma, had a connection with the crowd, and got over beating up the babyface, got over beating up the conga morons, and played off the crowd. Which is very confusing to my wrestling brain. Drew McIntyre comes out, he screams, big guy heel. He wrestles like a big man heel, but yet he's talking to the crowd, getting them involved, asking them, do you dare me to do another Claymore? Do you double dare me? Like, these are things that a babyface would do. And you got people coming at me, and some of you are saying, well, he's a tweener. Well, he hasn't been. He was a heel, and he needs to be careful. Because if he goes too far and he actually starts to get over, he might end up seeing the same fate as Rusev Day. And many of the other talents that have gotten over in an organic way. It seemed as if the fans tonight in Oklahoma were definitely feeling Drew McIntyre. I was feeling it. I'm sitting on my couch going, man, there's just something going on with Drew McIntyre right now. He's got my attention. He's making me laugh. He's making me have a good time watching No Way Jose get his ass beat. And that's definitely not really supposed to be what's happening here. I'm supposed to be against a Drew McIntyre, am I not? I don't understand it. Hence the confusion. Is he good? Is he bad? He's a tweener. I guess tweeners don't really work because you at some point you have to have an alignment. We'll have to wait and see what side of the ball Drew McIntyre falls on. At this point, I would actually be into him going into babyface territory. You got Rollins and the AOP. You got plenty of heels on that side. You could get Drew McIntyre over. He's look at what he did tonight. If he can continue on this track that he's on right now, this guy could be a big star in 2020. Maybe the biggest babyface on Monday Night Raw. He should have been the third person. Why not Drew McIntyre as the third member of Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe's team? No, instead, you know what we get. Alistair Black defeats Shelton Benjamin in 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Shelton Benjamin. If Shelton Benjamin can't last more than 3 minutes with an Alistair Black, what the hell chance does anybody else ever have? I guess Alistair Black is that much better than Shelton Benjamin then, since he was able to go the distance with a guy like Alistair Black, and Shelton Benjamin can't last 5 minutes. What does that say about the gold standard? Fool's gold standard. Come on, man. What were we talking about earlier? We need stars. And here you have a guy that was an established star. He was in a great tag team, Haas and Benjamin. He came back and he formed another very good tag team with Chad Gable. I liked that tag team. It seemed like a little bit of an upgrade from American Alpha. It was working. I don't know why it didn't go anywhere. Oh, I do know why, because the WWE sucks at their job. The 6-man tag team main event. So not only did they give us the return of the Big Show after 20 years. Not 20 years. Well, it feels like. I meant to say more like a guy from 20 years ago. In the main event of the first show of the new year. It's also a 6-man tag. Our least favorite booking scenario. But we will give that a pass since we're dealing with 3-man teams again, and in this case it was Rollins, the Messiah, and the AOP. As soon as the Big Show came out, I immediately did not care about this match. I kind of disconnected from it. First of all, it took me about 5 minutes to catch my breath, because I was just laughing so hard that they actually duped me, man. They got me to believe that this reveal and this third partner was going to be something that I have to see. This is going to make the main event be the best main event we've seen in some time. This is what I'm thinking leading up to it. So then the Big Show comes out and I laugh like I'm watching my favorite stand-up comedian marathon. All right? And it just kind of won't end. And now I'm not taking anything I'm seeing seriously. All I'm thinking of is all of the other people that they could have possibly put in this scenario. And they came up with this. This was the best thing you had going. I can't figure it out. It wasn't all that interesting to me. Owens and Joe and Show end up winning this thing via disqualification. Seth Rollins, seeing that they were at a disadvantage, attacked the Big Show with a chair. This match would be thrown out. So it was really all for nothing. And then it gets very strange, you guys, because all of a sudden Monday Night Raw wants to tell us what we're going to see next week. And they announced that Brock Lesnar is going to be back on the show. Alistair Black and Buddy Murphy are going to have a rematch. And I kind of skipped over that a little bit. I forgot to mention that after the Alistair Black match, he was attacked once again by Buddy Murphy. And I didn't understand why. I didn't see a need for it. I thought they should give this feud a little bit of room to breathe. I didn't mind so much that Alistair Black was making a few stops off at some other different opponents. But the whole rematch thing now, and it's going to happen next week. They're not even going to try to put it off and build it up a little more till the Royal Rumble. We're getting match 3 in the series next week. It feels rushed. It feels like they just want to do it because they know they're going to get a great match, and people know that these guys are going to put on a great match, so maybe it'll get them to tune in again. It's just happening way too quickly. So they announced that Murphy and Black will have their next rematch. They also announced that Samoa Joe will have a mystery partner next week against Rollins and the AOP. But then they said that it's going to be it's going to be Owens, Joe, and Show, since we know that that's what happened tonight, is going to fight Rollins and AOP as the first ever fist fight in WWE history. Jerry Lawler asks, what are the rules of that? And I'm asking the same thing, because isn't every wrestling match a fist fight? I mean, come on, it's a combat sport. It's wrestling, like UFC, it's fighting. These guys throw punches, right? That's a fist fight. Are they not allowed to have holds? Is it specifically not a wrestling match? And is it a street fight, but within the rules of the ring? What is a fist fight? Are we back in elementary school? Is this Vince McMahon and his regression back to his elementary school mind? What did we used to do back in the day? We had fist fights. We're going to meet in the parking lot. We're going to have a fist fight. After 3 o'clock after school tonight, you guys. Fist fight. I don't know. We're going to have to tune in to find out what this ridiculous fist fight is going to be. Hopefully they take the Big Show out of it and we get some sort of a new surprise third man, but I don't think that's going to be the case. The end of this show was very confusing with the way they announced next week's show, but I'm assuming that it's going to be a rematch of tonight's 6-man, which ended in the no contest and the disqualification. So we're going to have to see the Big Show, and I guess he's going to be along for the ride, and now I don't really care as much for this feud and this going forward as I did last week when they had me totally intrigued with the pairing of Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe, and you wouldn't think there was any way that you could possibly ruin that, right? But the WWE always finds a way, and it was 7 foot 4 inches tall, 400 plus pounds. I mean, let's be nice just for a second. The Big Show looked great. His body looks to be in fantastic shape, but we don't need a 2020 run from the Big Show when you have a roster of talent that you're not even using, and you're bringing back another guy from wrestling's past that nobody needs to see right now. You got Braun Strowman. One giant 7-foot clown is enough. That was tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. This year, this whole decade is not kicking off any better than we finished off last year. Monday Night Raw, once again, an entirety of a big old fat poop hammer, none bigger than the arrival of the 7-foot Big Show, 7-foot poop hammer. Oh, good Lord. What are we in for? I'm afraid to even find out. Thank you guys, as always, for being a part of this show, part of this channel. 2019 was a fantastic year, and let's make 2020 even better. And that can happen with the love and continued support of the Sledgehead Army, to which you find yourself a proud member of. And if you are not already one of the 2,000 plus that know when you want your wrestling news and reviews bullshit free and full of fun and entertainment and having more fun than you will watching the actual show, Sledgehammer TV is the place to be. I got you covered, and you don't need to put yourself through this torture. You just come to me and I'll give it to you straight. I'll tell you the truth. I won't lie to you like Paul Heyman and tell you things are unprecedented when clearly there is a precedent for WWE champions being number 1 in the Royal Rumble. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the Team Thor, the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue, the Snowball. The most important member of the team, as always, is each and every one of you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and join the family. Smash that like button if you enjoyed yourself, if you had a good time, if it made you laugh, if it made you cry, if it made you understand why this show sucks completely. Smash that thumbs up for me. Share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they need to know why Monday Night Raw was such a big heaping pile of human garbage, for lack of a better word. And don't forget, if you feel the need and you want to donate to the show and help us a little bit more and support the show, you can hit that applause button and give us whatever it is you feel like you can contribute to the show. If you see that applause button down below, don't be afraid to hit it. See what it does, and if you can, feel free to support the channel. Also, you can support the channel by picking up one of the t-shirts, which are still available at bonfire.com/store/sledgehammer-TV. The most lethal weapon in all the professional wrestling reviews, the Poop Hammer t-shirt, still available. And the Sledgehammer TV logo t-shirt, available in 5 fantastic colors. And if you are in one of the fantastic people that have already bought this shirt, and there were quite a few of you, make sure you get at me on social media, at Nick Nightmare on Twitter, at Nick_Nightmare on the Instagram. You could go to the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show Facebook page, or you could try, I think, to post it in the comments section below if you can. Get me pictures of you guys wearing our armor. I want to see my soldiers proudly displaying in their armor, and if I can ever get my hands on those pictures, you might find those pictures featured right here on your favorite wrestling show. So don't forget to do that for me. Follow me all across social media, and don't forget, most importantly, to like, share, and subscribe, and come back for more, because there's a whole lot more on this channel than just wrestling reviews, like the most important wrestlers of the last decade series, which will be continuing on this weekend. And if you missed the first 4 episodes, they are available for you guys right now. Go check them out. Thank you guys for everything. That is going to do it, and we are out of here. And we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. Woo!